April and May because they've been taking all the other C's teams to school. They've been taking all the other Philippine teams to school. However, I look and apparently during just like not just 12 hours ago during the Zotac Cup qualifiers for SEA, Clutch Gamers lost in the quarterfinals 2-0 against Nasty Potatoes.
Them
And
nasty
Nasty
potatoes,
Potatoes,
man.
I mean, I know they are not as unknown as their team name may make it seem, but at the same time, like it was quarterfinals, it was a 2-0, and this is Clutch Gamers has been, like you said, they've been qualifying and they've been in finals for a bunch of other stuff as well. And like later, I think tomorrow or today, they're going to be in the qualifier finals for MDL SEA qualifier against Mineski. So I don't know what's going on in this region, but I can't even pick a favorite going in. I'd say both teams have almost an equal probability of winning, to be honest.
Well, does it help you to have a favorite if I tell you that Clutch Gamer did knock down Faceless 2-0 just earlier today in the winner bracket finals?
Somewhat so, yes, that does have me favoring Clutch Gamers a little bit, but even then, like the ice factor is always there, and so you may get 2-0'd once, and then he may make you look like a fool one series later. So I would give recent history the edge to Clutch, because even beyond this most recent result that knocked Faceless down to the lower bracket, well, I guess that's probably the most recent time that these two teams have faced each other, because Faceless hasn't been participating in a lot of these qualifiers. So yeah, okay, fine. I'm gonna give like a 60-40 edge to Clutch Gamers.
And I think I would definitely agree with that. I think Clutch Gamer is perhaps currently the stronger team, but whether they could do it consistently is going to be the question that will have to be answered today. Faceless takes us back through the history pages and picks up Warlock and Ogre Magi. What is this? 2016 support drafting?
Yeah, I don't know where Ogre came from. I mean, Warlock I can understand. Warlock has been seeing a renaissance in the past few months or so, but Ogre had all but fallen off. And unless you're like Alliance or something, which Alliance is one of the very few teams that was still favoring Ogre, but at the same time Alliance is picking up heroes like Skywrath Mage and stuff like that as well, so I don't really have much emphasis on if Alliance is defining the meta, but yeah, especially first two heroes right off the bat is surprising. Normally, an Ogre Magi is like, okay, we've got a bunch of right clickers, we can have a lot of benefit from a Bloodlust, or we have like a very vulnerable mid that we can just dump an Ogre there and, let him secure mid. And Faceless ban out the Shadow Fiend themselves, which is one of those heroes that needs protection, and I guess there's still there's still plenty of weak mids. Like you can go for like a sniper or something like that, but that's typically only picked as like a counter pick situation. So yeah, it's surprising to me that Faceless go to an Ogre so early.
Yeah, they banned out the Shadow Fiend because earlier in the series today, Armel literally went Yafet on them. Like it was the most Yafet-esque performance I've seen this year. It was triple raises into some dodging, juking, and nukes into a couple more raises to dodge. Like he was getting ganked 3v1 and he he'll kill like 2 of them, and his teammate got the other kill. It was actually insane what he was doing. So I get that ban. Of course, Armel Invoker is of course definitely known as a quantity.
Indeed.
And we are gonna see the Boombacks and Nyx Assassins. Support Nyx has been on the rise. In fact, both teams, and I think Mineski earlier today has been playing support Nyx as well. He's often lauded as a very greedy and level-dependent support, but players are definitely making it work.
Yeah, same kind of thing as the resurgence of Clockwork support.
True.
I guess most teams are just finding that if you find a roamer that has kind of inherently tanky and doesn't really have to rely on levels too much, at least in the first few minutes, because, Nyx Assassin with Impale is just as good from basically like level 1 to 3. Yeah, the stun duration increases marginally, but you mainly want it for the setup. And so it's I'm surprised that Slardar fell off so heavily, but I guess a lot of teams are like, I don't want to have to worry about getting him a Blink Dagger. Get me a support that does not have to worry about any items, because Slardar effectively needs a Blink Dagger, but Clockwork, Nyx Assassin, they'll find their ways into the fight using their spells. So I like seeing support Nyx more and more, assuming they eventually give the Nyx assassin a lane, which usually is pretty easy. Legion Commander can very easily transition into the jungle once she is, ready to start roaming, and the Nyx assassin can tank over. But Faceless are going to go to a tried and true solution to many of their issues, which is a most likely Ice Timbersaw, I would guess.
So a couple of things. First of all, I'm glad that you brought up the Slardar, because today Boombax had played Slardar twice against Faceless, and each game he got a 15-minute Blink Dagger as a support Slardar, which is impressive in his own right. And one of those games was against the Ice Timbersaw. Ice started the game as 0-3, and he literally got dumpstered in that game. It was by a safe lane OD as well, kind of controlling it up. It was OD Rubik Slaughter, and Timbersaw was just unable to do anything. They just shut him down starting from minute 1. And I have a hunch that I think Ursa lanes better against Timber than an OD does. So right from the get-go, I'm going to say that I favor Clutch Gamer's draft, at least if the lanes go as you would expect them to. Like if it's Triling versus Timber and Legion versus whatever Faceless throws at that, and of course the 1v1 mid, I think Clutch Gamer should have the edge when it comes to the laning situation.
I guess there is still some options available. I don't know if I've ever seen Jabs play Timber mid before, but no, if they want to dodge, then whoa, Clinks.
All right. So, I mean, there are a couple options, right? You can just dodge the lane and put Timber versus LC. That's a good matchup for your Timber. And I would imagine that Clinks is going to do fine against Ursa in a 3v3 situation, especially when you have such strong, defensive support like Warlock and Ogre. So that is an option that is available to Faceless. And of course, even if you do the standard 3v1, I imagine Clinks is going to do okay against Legion, because whenever Legion comes close, you're going to just push her back with the Searing Arrows.
Yeah, but I fear for there's a lot of initiating power on Clutch Gamers. Like literally all 4 of the heroes that we see right now are all Blink Dagger builders on Clutch Gamers.
True.
And Clinks kind of thrives in an environment where the supports are like perpetually poor, and they're constantly concerned. They don't have any they're not going to be able to practice the buddy system. Whereas Legion Commander and Ursa love having backup. They're not like these independent carries that are like, okay, I'm just going to be left alone. You guys go do your own thing. It's not like an anti-mage type situation. Ursa and Legion Commander both want their supports following them around for quick kills on these, cores or supports. And so Clinks may have a difficult time not only finding farm depending on what lane he's in, because he won't lose a lane, but he's not going to win any of these lanes. And he's not going to really be able to pick people off in the mid to late game either. But I know Faceless like running Clinks, and I've definitely seen Black just go off on the heroes, so hopefully they'll be able to find their place in the early game.
Yeah, they had a Clinks game earlier today against Mineski in the lower bracket finals, and Mineski actually, I think they laned it very smartly against it. They tri-lane against the Clinks, and Clinks was effectively shut down, or rather, he didn't get the good farm that normally Black relies on to actually have that explosive start. But I think Mineski made a couple of mid-game mistakes, which allow Faceless to make it a comeback. But yeah, I mean, if Clutch Gamer wants to follow that formula of tri-laning against the Clinks, maybe you can, slow him down to a degree where he won't be that threatening of a hero. For Faceless, we'll have to pick up a final mid-hero. Out of Jabs' heroes, I think Ember is really the only one that's still available. But would you want Ember here? No, they want a Dragon Knight instead.
Dyer's pick.
Well, they have reasonably strong push on their team. Ogre Magi has a lot, Clinks and DK are both excellent Bloodlust targets. Clinks can push very quickly on his own, same thing with Dragon Knight. And if you do manage to start a team fight, have to drop the Chaotic Offering, then Clinks and DK and Timber are all excellent and following up on that kind of initiation as well, assuming DK goes for something like a Blink Dagger, because I think someone on Faceless needs to be able to get that quick initiation on these kind of pretty tanky targets. Like Ursa and Legion Commander are both very tanky if they're allowed to get their spells off. But if you can manage to chain disable them, or I'm assuming that Clinks is going to be going for an Orchid early on, and then Orchid into Dragon Tail, Chaotic Offering, and then a bunch of burst damage, then they can definitely annihilate some targets, but they need clean initiation, and so hopefully Jabs goes for a Blink Dagger, and Armel is going to be returning the favor of initiation with the Storm Spirit.
You know, actually looking at how the two lineups shape up against each other, I think Faceless might be the tankier lineup, right? Dragon Knight's very tanky, we know what Timbersaw can do, and of course Klings, if he's under the influence of Dark Pact, or rather Death Pact, he's going to be pretty tanky. We know that Warlock and Ogre are going to be pretty buffed as well, so we might
That's
see,
true.
We might see.
But I really like the Storm Spirit last pick as a result, because Timber and DK are both very tanky, but they're both very armor tanky. They're both very physical damage tanky.
Right.
Whereas Storm Spirit can basically disregard all of that. And I mean, sure, they have like a ton of HP regen to boot as well, but yeah, it's a great idea to pick up a magic damage dealing core as the 5th pick.
You know, I think Clutch Gamer has been playing better today, but I like this draft from Faceless a lot more. If you look at Clutch Gamer's game plan, they are live and die by the picks, right? If you don't get picks after picks, how is this team going to push anything? Ursa,
Very
Storm, Legion, they are not excellent pushers. I mean, I think Press the Attack is a very strong tool for sustaining a push. But that's, you know, when you're putting it on a Juggernaut or a Shadow Fiend or something like that. But Faceless, I think they have multiple ways to play this. You know, they could rely on the Nuts Warlock team fight. They could go for a push, of course, with the Jabs and Clinks. And of course, they could also play Pickoff with Timbersaw and Clink. So I think given the situation in the game, they can adapt very wildly to what Clutch is throwing at them. And to me, Clutch, they have to just be the one-trick pony. And, well, they have to execute the game playing extremely well.
Yeah, and it's not even like this Storm Spirit is going to be able to, like, get a lot done in the lane. He's going to be up against a DK, which, I mean, both heroes are going to be able to get farm. Neither hero is going to be able to get a kill on the other, even with support rotations, because neither of the supports on either team are going to be, like, too exceptional at being able to follow up on, you know, like, smoke ganks or anything like that. So both Armel, Storm Spirit, and Jabs, DK are just going to be able to get farm, and Storm Spirit can't really safely leave the lane, otherwise he's going to lose his tier 1, and Jabs doesn't really care to leave the lane. He's just going to work up his way to... I'm imagining an armlet will be his first item, but afterwards I still think that he should go for the Blink Dagger.
Wards and dewarding happening from both sides. I do believe Boomback's ward is going to be scouted out. Whether there is sentry available is another question.
Yeah, Nuts has one. The problem is he needs to hold on to these sentries to make sure that Clink stays safe in lane as well. Although Boombax does not have a sentry. Yeah, so how are they going to opt to lane this? Looks like they want to send Legion... Oh, so they're going to have Legion in the tri-lane and let Ursa solo?
Legion might be thinking of jungling. She hasn't really committed to her item purchase yet. In fact, because she's tangled or something, she could...
There we go. Talon up.
Yeah. So looks like it is going to be a rather defensive way of doing it, and this is generally not the best sign for your Legion, because one of the strength of Legion, especially in this patch, as Ice commits to his skill point with using Timber Chain. That's a Ravage by Boombacks. I don't think he's going to die here either. Yeah, he just walks it off. But as I was saying, I think one of the strength of Legion in this patch is your ability to challenge a lot of like safe lanes with your overwhelming odd. And I think he's going to walk in the lane, take 3 Searing Arrows, and just call it a day and go back to the jungle.
Yeah, I mean, Legion Commander has reasonably high armor, but you need something like a poor man's shield if you're going up against a Clink solo. So the laning arrangement... Oh, mid lane. DK, it's starting to get gone on, but...
Impale's gonna be there. Then we're gonna have another Remnant.
Telekinesis stacked.
Yes, and because of that, they also missed a Remnant. But Jabs juking from a very awkward angle. Remnant, this one's gonna hit, and the right click is gonna come through. Despite the tiny misplay here, Armel still picks up the first blood, which is not something you would honestly expect at all.
No. No, you would not. Especially, like, Jabs didn't even go greedy. He went for Dragon's Blood at level 1. He didn't go for something like Breathe Fire, but yeah, this is a very, very early rotation. I was saying that support rotations wouldn't matter too much, but I wasn't expecting it this early on, and that's the best time to go on a DK.
I guess the silver lining for him is that he is still going to get quite a bit of experience under his tower, so giving him a kill is not that bad at this stage of the game.
Although Storm did get the first blood money, so that kind of sucks for him.
That's the quick boots if he wants it. top lane. Gabby's gonna have a tough one. Ice earlier today had a very tough 3v1 situation. This time he's called over a couple of friends, and I don't think Ice is gonna die at all. In fact, I think Ursa might get bullied pretty heavily here.
It's still, I mean, I'm surprised that they're putting so many resources on, like, I think the supports of Faceless are going to continue roaming around, because Ice doesn't need too much help. Like, already XY is zoning out Boombax, who does manage to pick up yet again another bounty rune, and Warlock came over mid to, you know, attempt Shadow Word jabs during that gank attempt, but like all three of their lanes are pretty self-sufficient. Clinks is going to do fine against LC one-on-one, Jabs is going to do fine against Storm Spirit one-on-one, and assuming it's mostly a one-on-one, Timbersaw should do fine against the Ursa. So the supports of Faceless are going to have to, you know, find things to do elsewhere.
Oh, I think Ice, or rather Nuts, has heard you, and he's gonna go back to the bottom. This is something that Nuts generally does very well. He first of all secures the lane for Ice up top to give him the level he needs to self-sustain, and then he now goes back in the jungle to, I imagine, stack and pull for himself. Because as a Warlock, you definitely want to hit level 6. Not that Black needs his help. Like, in fact, Black has forced the shrine usage out of the LC. Like, he's doing fine the 1v1, but like, yeah, Nuts is gonna go for this stack. He's probably gonna do a little bit of lane pull and harass Rappy when he can.
I really like what Rappy's doing. He's like, it's half creep cutting and half pulling, but that's like ideal because there are no supports to discourage you. So Nuts, yeah, pretty much has to come down here.
Well,
now Rappy may be in a bit deep.
Half perhaps feeding as well as Black popping that strafe. Rappy walking up the hill here. One more searing arrow is gonna do it. I don't think he has the movement speed nor the path to juke. No. Black shift. Wait, what? Okay.
No,
Nuts will take it.
Meanwhile, Gabby kills Excellent in the top lane. But yeah, I don't think that was any way out. Theoretically, the Legion Commander may have been able to like cut a tree and hide in it, but that would have, you know, you would have found her out eventually. But
right.
Getting a kill on the Legion Commander definitely far more valuable than an Ogre Magi randomly dying, because as long as Timbersaw stays safe, that's the #1 priority.
So I just really am confused by Rappy's train of thought, because he's predominantly been laning, but yet he doesn't elect to get the PMS instead of going for the Iron Talon. So I felt like if he went for full jungle, the Iron Talon would have made a lot of sense. Right. But now this kind of halfway of playing it, I'm not sure whether it has paid off, because he's really losing this lane heavily right now.
And I felt that he was like, he was holding on to his item because he didn't know, like, oh, okay, if I'm going to be in lane, I'm going to build the Poor Man's. If I'm going to be in jungle, I'm going to build the Iron Talon. And so he hadn't built anything out of the base, and then he saw the invasion coming up to the top bounty rune, and then he bought the Iron Talon, and then he went to lane. So yeah, I agree, it's like kind of disconnected with how they've chosen to itemize Rappy. But I mean, he's not doing bad, he's level 4, things are going fine even with that kill, but yeah, I feel like he could be getting a little bit more.
Yeah. I think compared to most LC games, this is pretty mediocre. Most LC games, you're killing a Juggernaut by now, you know, you're tower diving, you got phase boots up. So this is speaking to the strength of Clinks as an early game laner against most melee heroes. But back in the mid lane, this farm has been pretty competitive here on both sides. Storm looks like he is forced back somehow, and might actually give up the lane to Boomback and start jungling. Meanwhile, top lane Fly Solo sets up a kill here for Gabby. Excuse me for missing that one. I mean,
yeah, how did that happen?
This is a traditional counter to the Ursa, right? Because you just...
You mean to the Timber?
Sorry, yeah, to the Timber. Because you apply damage so quickly that reactive armor is not going to be able to out-regen that.
Yeah, I guess Fly Solo must have grabbed Ice like mid Timber Chain, because like Ice has gone for 3 points in Timber Chain, 2 points in reactive armor, and 0 points in Whirling Death, which Whirling Death is not too important against Ursa. As we know, Ursa is an agility hero, not a strength hero, even though he may look like one, and so you don't really get too much benefit out of the stat minus, and so it's more important to stay safe. But I guess with the instant cast of telekinesis, you can interrupt things. Meanwhile, Boomback's in the mid lane getting chain stunned and obliterated right now.
Oh, Spike is gonna make him go out of it, and now Gabby pops the ultimate, sets up the kill, and the 3-man shower. Oh, the full regen for Boombax. Boombax has been playing absolutely amazingly today.
A lot of people look at Nyx Assassin and they're like, oh, okay, he can only start making plays once Vendetta's up and running, but nah, he can do it all game long.
If you're good.
If you're
Top lane, Gabby. Popping that phase, going hard. What must have happened top lane was like, Gabby got a couple of stacks on him, had a clap with the Earth Shock, and then as soon as he tries to go Timber Chain out, Rubik lifted him, and you know that was a problem.
Especially because
Bottom
Ursa,
lane.
has hit level 6. So
Black gonna get dusted here.
Dusted.
He's gonna go through the trees here. Fly Solo did have to lift, but now did not commit for it. Now lifted back. Black still slowed down by that dust. Maybe
Impale in
another
1
impale.
second.
Needs to juke that one. Ooh, he did.
Ooh.
Nice footwork. And now they're gonna turn it around. Boom back. We'll pop the spike. Fly Solo zaps him a little bit. Had a double damage. Taunts on his way out, but gotta be very careful.
Thankfully, Black had just death pacted something right before that gang, and so even though his duel.
Wait. This is gonna be a kill, I think. Yeah, the dual damage is gonna be there
Winner.
as well, but Black comes in. Snipes one. Alright, not so bad here for Faceless.
Yeah, especially since Timbersaw also manages to get a kill on Gabby in the top lane with the help of XY. All those support rotations just gave the Timbersaw an opening to go on the Ursa, and it's a much more valuable kill. Yeah, you did give up a duel victory, but your attempted gank on the Klink's carry was unsuccessful.
I gotta say, right now, Faceless has...
Mid lane, Gabs.
Okay, jabs.
Kill's been used. Oh, he goes into Dragon form.
Wait, he did have a full magic wand though. The full magic wand bait has been the oldest one in the book. Armel mans up, goes on XY now as well. XY is gonna eat an impale, and Armel looking for the last hit, finds it because he's a mid player. And yeah, 2 kills.
Black wants vengeance, but it's only 2 points in skeleton walk, so yeah, he's not gonna be able to catch Armel, unfortunately. So far, I really like. Duel again, bot lane.
Oh, looks like he might not win this one. Yeah, Rappy forced away thanks to XY's rotation.
He doesn't have any more mana, and he's fatally bonded to a few creeps, but he's faster than Ogre even with the orb. Oh.
One more, and that's the fatal bond. But here comes the Storm Surge, jumps on Nuts. Nuts is gonna eat a couple of right clicks. Armel, nicely done here.
So is Vortex.
Really? Is he gonna kill him? I don't think that's possible.
Oh,
just kidding.
Oh, it's possible.
I'm not a mid player either, so Armel.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't really know where this Ogre Magi is fitting in, which is what we were saying during the draft, because, like, Fire Blast, as we see, is just, like, a pretty insignificant stun. So far, the DOT of Ignite has been pretty much irrelevant. Like, I'm sure it helped out against that kill in Gabby in the top lane, but, like, Enrage is going to be able to purge it off in theory.
You know what the sad thing is? Nuts is like, okay, Storm killed both of us. He's out of mana, right? But Clutch Gamer ported down 2 heroes. They bottled, well, they refreshed Armel's bottle. So now Armel gets yet another kill. Rappy gets a dual damage victory. When's the last time you've seen a Storm Surge go 6-0 before 10 minutes?
That's crazy, because I mean, it's not like he even had that dominant of a lane. Yeah, he was able to kill off DK once in the very early stages of the game, and then after that, DK got aggressive, I suppose you could say, and gave up a few kills in here and there. But yeah, man, Armel is having a wonderful game right now. Now he's going to shrine up at this bot shrine if he wants to, or not.
Maybe he's going to take this bounty room. You know,
I need to defend mid.
Yeah, that is this is kind of what I meant earlier when, like, if Faceless, if the kill game is not going for you, go for tower game. You know, they have options. Whereas I think Clutch Gamer needs to be playing this well early to try to win this game.
Boomback's trying to look for Vendetta setup, but on the mid lane middle, flies solo again, Timbers.
Alright, Armel going right back in the rock, though. We'll hit all 3. Fly solo is fine right now. He's not fatal bonded to anyone. On the backline, Boomback. Looks like Ursa's in there as well. Okay, gets the 1 kill. Black trying to hit through Ursa, but Ursa had his ultimate on, so he essentially took no damage. At the end of the day, it's just a Timber kill. Ice
was trying to also go in, but just was not doing. I mean, like, his Whirling Death is only level 2 right now, and with Enrage up and running, it's not going to really do that much damage, and he chained into an Ursa and just got destroyed. Gabby is doing pretty well right now, and they successfully defend their tier 1.
Alright, they will use that shrine right now for Clutch Gamers. Storm back to full mana. And I do believe that was a pretty fresh Vendetta. No, that was just a smoke. Boomback leading the gank here. Just
Well, he has Vendetta in 5 seconds.
right. And they will see Ogre exposing himself to the lane. I think Armel could pick this one for himself if they want to preserve the Vendetta.
Ideally, they give a duel victory, but Legion Commander's a long ways away, so yeah, they're just gonna go in vanilla. Oh, and they steal Bloodlust. Oh, it's only level 1 though.
Nuts sees a gank party coming in, and he is on the run.
Rubik has a lot of good steal options, even though this was second pick of the overall draft. Like, Faceless didn't really care too much, and I can't really think of it. Oh.
Top lane, blinking back in. Ice dead. Meanwhile, simultaneously on the bottom lane, Armel going to work as well. Ogre will go down once again. Looks like mid lane also, they lost the Legion Commander, but I think Clutch Gamer getting the 2 versus 1 trade and Storm as well as Ursa getting kills. You'll take that one any day of the week.
Yeah, exactly. 2 kills on your cores on opposite sides of the map. You did lose your mid tier 1, but you're going to lose that eventually. It's a Dragon Form DK, it's a Clinks. There's no way you're going to be able to keep all your towers up for this long. And I mean, the tower score is even right now. Dire's missing their mid tier 1, but Radiant's missing their bot tier 1. And so items are going to start coming in for Clutch Gamers faster than they're going to start coming in for Faceless. And items have a big spike for Clutch Gamers. Legion Commander is still a fairly long ways away from her Blink Dagger, but Ursa has his Blink Dagger completed. Storm Spirit gonna have Bloodstone actually reasonably soon. Damn, this is a fast timing for a Bloodstone.
This is gonna be a 15-minute Bloodstone, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Crazy.
Yeah. I like the fact that Nyx Assassin also working on Hannah Midas, because I mean, apparently he doesn't need anything to like own, because the way that he's playing.
All these Slardar kids need all their Blink Daggers, and they need to get levels and spread. Now, Boombax, he's got it under control with this Nyx Assassin. About to have the Midas completed and about 200 more gold, so easy 14.5-minute Midas. And now they might find Timbersaw on the top lane.
But here comes the entire Faceless party. The question is, can they get there in time? The answer is no. In fact, Armel didn't even get there in time because Ursa just chopped them apart. Black is gonna snipe his courier. Okay, that's a.
Why was it running south?
Tanking the gank, dude. Nicely done.
That's true.
Sick micro by Clutch Gamers.
When your scan is down, you gotta spend 800 net worth trying to find out where the enemy is. Armel doesn't want to give up this lead. I can understand that.
Yeah, Rappy coming through, press the attack. The Impale's gonna hit. Will Ursa jump in? No, he's gonna wait out, wait for the rock, and now on the back line we go. Are they gonna go for Black or are they gonna go for the Dragon? Gabby's on the Dragon slaying plan. Duel's gonna come through as well. They will slay the Dragon. They will slay the rock. People are bonded up. They did lose a DK, but I think the Courier kill softened the blow a bit. Here comes Ice. He wants to go on Gabby. Gabby's gonna pop us out, and I think Clutch Gamer will like to disengage after that.
Yeah, you did lose the Courier, but I think you're perfectly fine with that. Another duel victory. Armel is 9-0-4 right now on this on this Storm Spirit. And there's really not very much that Faceless can do against it. Like, their stuns are unreliable. You have Dragon Tail, and it's a very reliable spell, but there's no follow-up after that. Fire Blast is terrible, really, at discouraging a Storm Spirit to do whatever he wants. Clinks is a long ways away from his Orchid. Went for the Dragon Lance as the first item, and so it's going to be a while before he manages to get anything to stop the Storm Spirit. And Warlock is just going to be food for this Storm.
I think they basically need Armel to make a mistake where he jumps on a supposedly like squishy target like Nuts, but then suddenly Dragon Eye stuns you. Or
Cess and Gabby are scanned, but they're both invis, and they don't have any detection. XY has a dust. Oh, he gets it, but nope. Not near Gabby.
Backline here, Ice is gonna get caught. Yeah, they are gonna get the kill. Storm joins them from a mile away. That's Bloodstone charge number 1. And soon perhaps make it number 2. Upheaval's gonna be on top of Jabs. That's 2 Bloodstone charge. They know XY's on the right. They know that Nuts on the left. Who do they want? This is their picking right now. Okay.
They want Warlock.
They want the Nuts.
Give me number 3.
Yep. 3 Bloodstone charge. He is up to 10-0-6.
This is disgusting. And in the midst of all of that, Rubik managed to steal Dragon's Tail, which it's only a level 1 Dragon's Tail, but that's a 2.5 second stun.
It's also a melee stun, so.
Yeah, but that's what telekinesis is for. You drag them back in and easy.
Okay.
I don't know what they do against the Storm Spirit. Even if he does make a few mistakes here and there, like at the worst thing, oh man, they're gonna give him an Aegis.
Yep.
So who cares if he makes any mistakes? Armel, go dive the fountain if you want. You got a license to kill.
Yeah. Now he just needs to fill his inventory with a couple of mangoes and just go hard.
There we go. Everything can work.
Yeah. Except the mango strat. I don't know about that one. Alright, well, Black, instead of going for the Orchid to give him a chance to shut down Armel, he's going to go for the Deso instead. I actually like that choice a lot, because I think by the time he finishes Orchid, if Armel sees you working on the Orchid, he's going to just have a counter item faster than you have, because he's going to farm faster than you will. So I like the fact that Deso is going to allow them to take a little bit more objective, perhaps sneak a Roshan, that kind of stuff. Oh, I'm glad we hear it. I think that's
right.
Yeah.
They changed it, and so weren't we talking about how we saw the clocks like yesterday or whatever?
Did they change it just so we could hear that?
That's what I was saying. My theory is that they changed it just so casters can hear the team audio lines.
Well, not the casters,
because
because they don't care about us. It's really about the viewers hearing it, and then they want to spend money.
True.
You know,
Exactly.
them Volvo economics.
Dude, they're geniuses.
Yeah.
I still think that Desolator is a very selfish item for a Clinks this game, because like no one else is dealing physical damage besides the DK, and even if you do manage to get corruption on some valuable target, DK is not really like a damage dealer right now.
Have you never done the Ogre Dunk quest, bruh? Physical damage king.
Wait, is it physical damage or right clicks
Right
overall?
right clicks, I think.
Yeah, so he doesn't care. You can have 1,000 armor. I'll still complete that quest.
FY is gonna, or sorry, XY is gonna break the, what? He is breaking the smoke like a god. Just walks out of it. They blink duel. Have they overcommitted? That's the question. Armel jumps in on the backline. Gabby finds nuts. They have not overcommitted at all. They are just getting whatever they want, however they want. Clutch gamers. Making this look super easy.
Yeah, this isn't even clutch. They need to be losing and then winning. This is snowball gamers right now. So what is that one, man?
It means like, well, the literal translation is like we can't play this anymore, which is like we're getting wrecked. Like we can't handle this anymore. There was a really nice Reddit post today.
Yeah, I saw it,
yeah.
but I can't read the characters and associate it.
Yeah.
Although I now know what it was, Skyfire or whatever.
Yeah, Sunstrike.
For Sunstrike.
Yeah.
See, I'm learning.
There you go.
Oh geez, Armel has a regen bottle.
So I know Clutch Gaming fans out there, they're looking at this game and be like, okay, it's done, you know. The game's won, but the one thing that we have to keep in mind that, again, Clutch Gamer, they don't have a great pushing lineup. And one of traditionally Faceless's best strength is that they are good at defending high ground, so I don't think Clutch Gamer is 100% out of the wood yet. They are very far ahead, don't get me wrong, but with this lineup, you can mess up, and the comeback can begin. Well, not right now, because Storm has Aegis, but you know.
Storm has Aegis, Storm has Regen Rune. They're gonna claim all the other free gold outside the map. Armel and company are probably not gonna care to go for high ground quite yet, even with this Aegis. Even, I mean, maybe until like the second Aegis, they probably won't think about it, because there's a lot of free gold on the map with all these outer towers still remaining. There's still 4 outer towers on Faceless' side, and Clutch gamers know that Faceless are not gonna be able to defend any of that. So right now, Faceless has to send 5 heroes to take down 1 tier 1, and hopefully Clutch Gamers doesn't go for a defense, because that's exactly what Faceless want.
Exactly.
They don't have any initiation, because still DK does not have a Blink Dagger completed, but still, like, you're perfectly okay giving a few towers here and there, even though most of the time the team in the lead, like, 2 tiers may be a bit dangerous.
Yeah, technically, like, Faceless finding even trades like this in a situation where they're down by, like, 10k net worth, this is good for Faceless. So, and again, like, Clutch Gamer is pushing, but they're pushing rather slowly. So the question is, who's going to go high ground first?
It's the right call not to defend, because there's no way that you bring all 5 of your heroes in a position that Faceless is not going to know. So it just kind of, it was a good reaction by Faceless to move so rapidly, put down some aggressive wards, only show a few heroes. Clutch gamers have really no way of being able to solidly defend that. If they showed like the Warlock in the top lane trying to, like, you know, put fatal bonds or upheaval on the creeps, then I'm sure Clutch gamers would have gone for a defense. But without being able to see any heroes, it was a good call by Faceless to move so aggressively and get such an even trade.
Boomback has a minus to fuel this blink purchase. I mean, he's been playing amazingly without the blink, but let's say that he's gonna really go off with the blink purchase. And again, like you mentioned, Faceless pretty much moving as a unit of 4 and 5, and that's not the game plan that Klings really wants to be subscribing to.
Yeah.
But
This is like Nyx is out Klinksing the Klinks right now. He's about to have a Blink Dagger completed after this hand of minus on Boomback's Nyx, so even though it looks very top heavy with the Storm Spirit just balling out of control, the supports are doing well as well. And Fly Solo places a really valuable high ground ward. That's so value at this stage of the game.
generally, it's hard to place those wards without being seen. Was he smoked up or?
He was smoked up.
Okay.
Smoked up in nighttime, so it was a perfect time to go. And Clutch Gamers have the advantage right now, but they don't know where any Faceless heroes are. So they saw the creeps pushing the tier 2 uncontested mid, and they're like, they're up to something sneaky, we should back off. And Assassin's Vendetta is actually up, so I'm surprised Boombax isn't scouting. I'm surprised Boombax actually shows himself, but looks like Faceless are not going to find anything with their smoke.
Vendetta will be used again here, this time with the help of Blink Dagger. Storm. Every time I hear a Storm jump, I'm like, oh god, am I missing kills?
No, he just has a ton of mana. Doesn't need to be concerned. He has Orchid completed, has an Invis rune bottled, an Assassin is wandering into a Sentry rune. I mean, Sentry ward, but he's backing off.
Yeah, he's forcing Dust coming out here. Faceless. They are so scared.
Yeah, this dire ward is gathering so much information. Oh,
the
nice
spike!
purpose.
I think he's dead regardless, but maybe his team could get here in time. Whoa, here comes the Ravage! And Ursa jumps in, the rock has been committed. Storm, what happened? He just killed, I think, Ice.
He's going in on Warlock.
On the backside, though, the Blade Mail duel coming up. Black does win the duel. Nobody coming in to finish the kill. Armel jumps, but he doesn't actually get anything done. In fact, it's going to be a turnaround. Armel, no. Takes us 2 hit. He has very high armor. We'll be able to tank through it and just runs away. To me, so far, that's a victory here for Faceless, but it's not over yet. Armel jumps back in with the remainder of his mana pool. We'll get Ice's Bloodstone again. It's really the road to the 0-charge Bloodstone. Looks like the Fatal Bond does take down the Rubik, so make that a 4 for 3, because Ice did die twice in that fight. Blink Dust is going to find himself black. Storm jumps again. How does this man have mana, but not enough to immediately give up the chase?
21 Bloodstone charges in a regen rune as well, just for your troubles.
Alright, I guess you're just good at Dota.
Yeah. BKB debut by the Ursa. It was somewhat mitigated because once he jumped in, immediately Warlock returned the favor with the
They see black, they see black.
Oh, they do.
Black.
Go in, Storm. I activate the regen?
Yeah.
Me too.
No, it's fine.
Wow.
Now he does it.
That's Storm Spirit is 13, 0, and 10 now. And Ursa, or Boombax, wants to find Timbersaw. How did Timbersaw respawn so quickly? He didn't have that many Bloodstone charges.
No, he died twice. So the first time he died, he had like 13 or something.
Yeah, but even then, like, I didn't think the fight was going that long, but I guess he must have come to a shrine or something.
Yeah, well.
And these bloodlusted compendium towers.
Clutch Gamers, despite not having a pushing lineup, it's easy to push when nobody could defend. Gabby sitting in front. XY!
Oh, he spots XY!
Yeah, XY is gonna give one more to the, to Armel's Bloodstone charge. Just 23 and counting. 14, 10, or 14, 0 and 10. Patience from
Doe.
I'm surprised WoW and They're All Dead has not been used yet.
Those are the expensive ones. This is SEA Dota, man. You go to China Dota and they're spamming all the high-level ones.
That's true. What do you... Okay. I mean, somebody, for the love of God...
You let Clutch Gamers qualify for a few tournaments, and then LD will gift them the prizes when they win Summit.
Sure. Maybe that would work. Or Clutch Gamer sponsors, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Give them They're All Dead.
This is the new meta.
Yeah.
The all chat meta.
By the way, this is a sick placement for the ward as a dire
I think
support.
it was spotted though.
Don't worry
was
about
it spotted?
Still sick ward.
Yeah, it is a sick ward. I actually didn't know you could sneak in like that.
Yep.
But yeah, that's a great ward.
Because normally, like, you always check here, right? If you're a support.
Right.
So, hold that thought here. Mid.
See, he pays for his sins.
Fly solo does what Fly solo does best. Places wards and then dies for it.
Now, Storm Spirit has a Lincoln Sphere completed, so much for Dragon Tailing him. And Black has to actually go for a PKB, which I think, again, is the right call. I'm not 100% sure about this Desolator. Like, it would help them if they were able to push as a dust fails during this Faceless smoke. It helps during pushes, but already Faceless have great push with just the Dragon Knight. But in terms of team fights, Desolator isn't doing very much.
Stun on Gabby, but the pressy attack keeping him alive a little bit longer. Now he pops a BKB and on the backline. Armel going on nuts here, preventing the ultimate from coming out. He knows he gets a kill. He now goes on jab. That's going to be a secondary kill. Where is Rappy? Rappy's still alive throughout all of this. He wants Ice, Ice, Ice. Ice, Ice, Ice also goes down. They're all dead!
Yeah, where is it?
Wambliala! Alright, somebody needs to... Are we just 28? Okay.
I gotta keep track.
Yeah. By the way, a small thing in this engagement over here, like Boomback decided to walk up the hill and then backed off, and then the Radiant popped Dust, right? Dust is one of those things that you can see from fog, even if you don't have vision in that area. So Boomback at that moment knew that there were hero up there, even when they're all smoked up. So
it's true.
I think that gave Clutch Gamer a small edge in terms of, well, just a little bit of extra information when it comes to positioning.
Yeah, because again, Faceless thought that they had the initiation. They went in with the Clinks onto the Ursa, but then Legion Commander was ready and waiting. And as great as Desolator is at dealing damage to enemies, it's also great at dealing damage to yourself against this Blade Mail of Legion Commander. And so, immediate blink, dual Blade Mail, Clinks just annihilated himself pretty much. And now Halberd completed on the Legion Commander, Aghanim Scepter completed on the Ursa. And yeah, that aforementioned Lincoln's completed on the Storm Spirit.
You know, that's such a next level play by Rappy, right? He lost duel earlier to the Clinks just to give him extra damage. So that Blade Mail, that's a
brilliant
promo code BSJ play, like right there, 100%.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That is the long con.
And it really is the long con. Won the critical team fight, you know?
And now, this is the hard part though. Like, as great of a lead, they have one Rax taken, so bot lane will be consistently pressuring, but they were able to take that bot Rax off of a few pickoffs. If Faceless have all 5 heroes, it's kind of difficult. I say that, Armel can probably, like, dive them and have no fear whatsoever.
Yeah, can he just jump in?
He can. And he should jump in on the XY, because, like, that's the only other targeted thing that they really have, other than, I guess, like, Fatal Bonds and stuff like that, but in Shadow Word. But Warlock has very long cast animations and not the best range, so I don't know. With an Aegis, which has about... Oh, they have plenty of time left on this Aegis. Damn, they have like 3.5 minutes. He's going in.
Alright, here we go. Armel blocks the one Lincolns. There's a stun coming through as well. Armel going with the right click. The blink duel on the backside here. Finding the Ogre. That's more Bloodstone charge for Armel. Will Armel actually die? No, he's still okay right now. Looks like LC
Aegis,
though. LC will pay for his sins. 31 and counting. Thank you very much. Aegis is still standing strong. And 2-for-1 trade.
Yeah, force out a buyback from the DK. Who's already pretty far behind. Managed to complete that Blink Dagger, but it's, like I was singing the praises of the Blink Dagger earlier, but its usefulness has kind of lost its value at this point because, you know, Faceless had a kind of either pick-off oriented or tower pushing oriented lineup. Yes, Warlock does provide some teamfight capabilities, as does Timbersaw, but once you're this far behind, once you're 23,000 net worth behind at 30 minutes, once you're against a 19-0-13 Storm Spirit, I don't think it matters what items you have.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, when you look at a hero like Storm Spirit, he's just broken when you're this far ahead.
Yeah.
Finds Arcane Rune. Just hanging out now. Only plebs walk. Storm flies.
Yo, pro tip, there was another important Reddit thread, which I wasn't aware of, but
Okay.
Arcane Rune doesn't cut down on your travel costs, as now he's bolting
not.
way deep.
Because that would
This
be
may
OP.
be a bit much.
Well,
That
he
would be-
might be overstaying his welcome, but he still has the Aegis, so maybe not here. Trading a bit of his mana.
all
One for
good.
one.
Give up Nyx Assassin's Life for a Bloodstone charge.
Okay.
Yeah,
Armel
it's...
jumps back in. Armel is jumping around like this. He might actually die. No, still jumping around, still alive. His Aegis finally triggers, sitting at 34 right now. Jabs will add one more to that, 35. And he's beyond dollar. Bumpy Allah.
Oh, man. I mean, this is heavily entertaining to watch, but I imagine incredibly frustrating to play against. Oh, yeah, that's a dive into the fountain.
Okay, why not?
That's a dive out.
Does he get the
Orchid,
kill?
not gonna deal enough damage.
Okay. Fountain regen, OP.
OP. Please nerf. Fly Solo picks up a Blink Dagger in the enemy base, and they GG out.
Yeah.
Oh, Gabby gets another kill. Damn, where's the Bloodstone charge out of? Okay, so he ended the game with 35 Bloodstone charges, a 22-0-15 score, and I mean, as odd as it sounds, I don't think Faceless like played bad or anything, and I don't think their draft was that bad either. It's just they were never able to find what they needed. Timbersaw was never really able to do anything outside of a few Ursa kills in like the first 5 minutes. Ogre Magi roaming was not doing anything. He didn't spend time earlier on bullying the Storm Spirit. Like they didn't really spend that much time bothering Storm Spirit at all. Actually, it was just every once in a while, Nuts would come in to help the DK, but they wouldn't